Good morning, sunshines. Happy Saturday, March 1st. And welcome to the March vlog of BunniPhish Crafts. I am Heather, known as BunniPhish on all the internet places. How are you? I am okay. So, last month we discussed how my car was having a sassitude moment and needed to be worked on, and it was very dramatic. So I ordered the parts. Well, first my boyfriend took my car in to a shop for me because car stuff gives me like horrible anxiety. It's very stressful. I hate it. So he took it to a belt tire, and they said what was wrong, and they were like, it'll be $3,000 to fix it. And I was like, okay. So what is happening instead is my boyfriend's friend is going to fix it using his friend's tools because his friend is a mechanic. So it's going to be like with parts and labor, it's less than half that cost. But when someone is doing you a favor like that, even though I'm paying him for the work, like it's still a favor, you kind of have to go with things a little bit. So yesterday I got home from school and I messaged my boyfriend and I was like, hey, I'm home safe. He was like, okay, well, my buddy wants to pick up your car in an hour. And I was like, wait, what? Because there had been no discussion about what day it was going to happen. Like, it was going to be this weekend, but like no plan made. And but like pick up the car from my boyfriend's house. And I was like, so like what? So am I staying the night? Am I spending the day at your house while you're at work? Which is fine. But like, that wasn't planned. And I have autism and ADHD, and like I panicked for a little, and I was like, can I call you? And he was like, yes. I don't do a lot of phone calls except like panic mode, really, or if it's something like I need an immediate detail about something and it's time sensitive. So anyway, my boyfriend's friend picked up my car last night around like way after he had been like, he'll be here in an hour. Which is only frustrating because I had to like pack stuff up to be able to be at his house today. And I was like running through my list and I forgot a couple things, like the all-important Dr. Pepper, because I drink like a can a day of Dr. Pepper. Not every day, but most days I drink a Dr. Pepper. I know it's terrible for you. You don't really have a lot of other vices though, so as far as vices go, that one's not so bad. But yeah, so I'm here. That's all to say, I'm here. I'm hanging out at his house for the day. It's just after 6 a.m. and so it's dark outside. And I'm hanging out on the couch with my best friend. Look how cute she is. She's a very beauteous girl. And this is my plan for the day. I'm gonna read some of The Fox and the Falcon. Nikki's birthday is sometime this month. I don't actually know when her birthday is, but she said it's in March. So I should probably work on this blanket because 3 squares does not make a blanket. I only have the black yarn here, but that's fine. I can make 2 more black squares that are attached to this, and then I can make additional black squares that are attached to nothing. I have this sock that I was working on, so I can work on that a little bit. And I have this blanket that I'm making for my boyfriend that lives at his house. And once the sun comes up, I'm going to work on the puzzle. I feel a little bit of crafty guilt because I feel like I should be working on the baby blanket, but I don't bring all of my projects to his house because he has a dog and he smokes, and I don't want the projects to smell like smoke or have dog fur in them. So, like, yes, I know I can wash the projects when they're finished and they won't smell like smoke anymore, but it's the dog fur, really, because you're very beauteous but you shed a lot. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm having an enforced chill day, which is good because I need one, because last week was conferences and it was very stressful. Can you hear the wind outside? It's very, very windy today. So yeah, I'm gonna have a chill day. I'm gonna put some podcasts on the TV and just chill. Hey, sunshines. So the sun came up and I was like, oh, I had a couple boiled eggs for breakfast, and I was like, maybe I'll just work on the puzzle a little. Maybe I'll just put like 10 or so pieces. And so I did that, and then I crocheted a little, and then I was like, maybe just a few more pieces, and now look at that. So it's just the trees that need to be finished. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. And like, there's something about doing puzzles that just, even more than knitting or crocheting, like it's challenging, right? Like, you got to find the thing that fits, and I'm not going to force myself to work on it if I don't want to work on it anymore. But it's just like, it's even more meditative than knitting or crocheting at some points. Sometimes it's just frustrating, but today it was very meditative. I think I'm going to start on the trees and see what I can do today. But then if I decide that I don't want to, ooh, look, this piece over here, I'm pretty sure it goes, look at that. Oh, how exciting. If I work on it, cool. And if I decide in 5 minutes that I'm done for the day, that is also cool. But look how it's coming along. Hey, sunshines. Happy Monday, the 3rd of March. So I finished the puzzle yesterday and had good food, and my car is still not finished. So I'm stressing about that a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not that stressed about it. Just kind of like medium stressed. My boyfriend's friend, the one who's fixing my car, is playing chauffeur today. So he drove me home from my boyfriend's house so I could be home and like get stuff done this morning. And we woke up in the middle of the night because he's using my boyfriend's car, because my boyfriend has the most fuel efficient car of the three of us. So he's going to be back at our normal, so where I live is such, like, I don't know how other people experience this, but like, it's such a small world here. My boyfriend lives like a 10-15 minute drive away, depending on traffic and lights. But his best friend lives down the street from me. Random. So yeah, his best friend is going to drive me and my youngest kiddo to Meijer because it's Monday and we do a Meijer run. Not every Monday, but it's fair frequent on a Monday. Meijer's a grocery store.
and then he's going to drop us off at school, and then he's going to go work on my car. So, but he's using my boyfriend's car, and my boyfriend gets up in the middle of the night for work because he starts his work really, really early because he's a bread delivery person. I mean, it's more than delivery, like he's a bread person. So yeah, that's an early start to the day. So anyway, I'm feeling very stressed about that. I'm very stressed. But I have a whole hour before my alarms start going off for the day. So I'm gonna turn on a vlog and I am going to work on the blanket because I didn't work on that all weekend because I didn't want to take it to where the dog was. We'll see how far I can get. Like an hour sounds like a lot of knitting time, but it's also a lot of stitches. So I don't think I'm going to get super far. So just remember, we're here on the ball of yarn. That's what it looks like. And I have 4 ridges done, and I am, I think, halfway or a quarter of the way through the first row of the next repeat. Yeah, halfway through. So I have, what is that, 4 1/4 ridges done. So we'll see how far I can get in the next hour-ish before my alarm goes off. Update. Oh no, I was going to talk about the book that I'm reading, The Fox and the Falcon. But I left the book at my boyfriend's house. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'll get it when I am over there next. I have plenty of things to read. I have library books that I should be reading. I'm almost done with The Fox and the Falcon because it is so good. I read like 100 pages yesterday. Highly recommend if you like mythology at all. There was one spicy scene in this book, and I will tell you that I found the writing on the spicy scene kind of clunky. But otherwise, the writing is fabulous. I love the way that the main character is written. I love, like, without giving too much away, like, the main character is human and there's a bunch of deities that she interacts with. And, like, I just love the way that her humanness is so othered in this story because most of her interactions are with non-humans. So, really enjoyable. I like it a lot. Content warning for doxing. But super enjoyable. I think I have like less than 20 pages to go. So then I'll start reading my library books. I'm frustrated that I left it. It's my emotional support book. Not that I was going to read it today during the day because I don't read at school because I knit instead on my lunch break, but I like to carry it with me in the possibility that I might have time to read, even though I don't. Hey, sunshines. Excuse me, I'm a little froggy there. It's the end of my lunch on Monday, and this morning I think I had 4.5, and now I'm up to 6.5 ridges. I just started, this is the beginning of row, so I just started the return pass on the 7th. So yeah, it's going along. Look, the yarn, I feel like it actually looks smaller now. I'm almost done with this blue and about to go into the gray blue. So I think my goal of binding off on Wednesday is gonna work out. Yay! Good morning, sunshines. I'm in my classroom, but I had like the most lovely morning, middle of the night. I don't know, depends on what you think. So I woke up at 3 a.m. No reason, just that's when I was ready to be awake. And so I was messaging my sister because she doesn't have a sleep schedule. And there's like a 75% chance that if I'm up in the middle of the night, she's already up. It started because I sent her a reel it was Facebook being rude is what it was. Facebook like hurting some people's feelings. Okay, so I sent it to my sister. And then we started messaging, and she was telling me about her day, which was in the middle of the night, whatever. She was making beef stew, and I love beef stew. And she was like, do you want me to bring you lunch? And I was like, that would be lovely. But then she was feeling restless, and she was like, okay, I'm going to bring you food, but it's not going to be beef stew because it's not ready, but I'm going to bring you lunch. So then she brought me this beautiful gift of food. I love food. Food is a love language for me. So she brought me, what's in there? Spinach and feta penna, penna is my favorite pasta. I have feelings about pasta. I don't like spaghetti at all, or lasagna. So that was exciting. Oh, my arm's getting tired. Or not my arm, my shoulder. And there's Greek salad in there. Is it Greek salad? I don't know. It's spinach and feta. Spinach, not spinach. Olives and feta in olive oil. So I'm excited for that. There's tzatziki sauce. There's tabbouleh, which, is my favorite. My grandma used to make like the most amazing tabbouleh, and it was my favorite. Loved it. So I'm excited to have that because I haven't had it in about a year. She also brought me 2 cans of my favorite soda, which is Ruby Red Squirt, although Dr. Pepper and Ruby Red Squirt, those are my favorite. I think Ruby Red Squirt is my favorite, but like Dr. Pepper has caffeine in it, and sometimes I feel like I need caffeine even though, so it depends on if the autism or the ADHD is in charge, because ADHD says caffeine chills you out and makes you like less up, but autism says caffeine makes you more energy. So because I can drink a whole can of Dr. Pepper, like I can slam a can of Dr. Pepper and then go to sleep for the night. Or I can drink a can of Dr. Pepper and like be awake. So it's brain chemistry is fun. So she brought me that. She brought me 2 pickles, and she made sure they had tails because the pickles with the tails are my favorite. It's just like a little stem attached. I like the texture. It brings enjoyment when I'm eating the pickles. I love them. And she also made me some fancy yogurt. So it is Greek yogurt with a little bit of caramel sauce, raspberries, peaches. It's so good. It's so good. And it was just like, and then she stopped by at like 4 o'clock in the morning and dropped it off. Oh, and there were cheesecake bites, but I had those for breakfast. So it was just so nice. So now I'm having second breakfast. I'm having yogurt for second breakfast. And then I'll probably have, the olives and stuff for 11sies, as one does, because I'm a hobbit. Happens. But yeah, it was so exciting. Oh, and since I was awake for forever, I also worked on the baby blanket, but it's over there on the other side. I'm in my classroom. It's over my office, which is just on the other side of this blue wall. See, that wall does not go to the ceiling. So yeah, I worked on that, and I will, I'll show you that at the end of lunch. I think, well, no, for sure by the end of lunch, I will have started the bind off. I'm going to do an I-cord bind off. My daughter is drinking through a straw, sorry for the slurping. So I'm going to do an I-cord bind off. I'm going to start that at lunch today, a whole day early, because I'm on the border and I did 11 garter ridges. I was like, oh, maybe I should stop at 9. And then I was like, you know what? 11 is Nova's favorite number. Nova is one of my oldest knitting friends, and I just like that seems auspicious. 11 seems an auspicious number. So I am on the return round, or like if because I'm turning instead of purling. It would be the purl round if I was purling for a garter ridge. So I'm halfway through the 11th garter ridge, and then I'm going to start binding off. So yeah, that's exciting. And my goal was to start binding off tomorrow. So it's going to take me a while though, because I do want to do a I-cord bind off, and that just takes a little more time, but it's such a nice finish. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this food. I'm just in a great mood. And I feel like February, I was just like the whole time. So I really wanted to capture me in this moment of joy, because who knows what this morning is going to be. Who knows how I'm going to be feeling by the time lunch rolls around. But right now, in this moment, I am so joyful and excited and just living my best. Living my best. And I hope you are also finding a moment to live your best, even if it's not today as you're watching this. But I really hope that you're like documenting those moments where it's just things are amazing. Hey sunshines, it is the end of my lunch break. I worked through the first half of my lunch, so I did not get as far as I thought I was going to, but I did start the I-cord bind off. So yay, look at that, it's bound off. I do think though, kind of glad that I'm only at the start. This is not as stretchy as I want it to be, so I think that I'm going to go up to a size 6. So this blanket is knit on US 5s, which is a 3.75 millimeter. So I'm going to go up to a size 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, just to do the bind off part. I do prefer when I'm doing an I-cord bind off to use a DPN or another needle anyway, instead of using the needle on the cable. I just find it less cumbersome. So I'm okay with that, but it's officially started. Yes. I don't think it's going to be done by tomorrow, which is fine because that wasn't my goal. But if I can, I really want it to be done by Thursday. We'll see how it goes. I guess it depends on when I stay up / wake up in the morning, whether or not I can get this done by Thursday, or if it's going to have to be a panic thing, washing it Friday evening before the shower on Saturday. Oh, wait, no, it's on Sunday. Ooh, so I could finish it on Friday and it would be okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's not so bad. Baby shower on Sunday. Okay, so we're in a good place. I'll just grab a DPN when I get home and it'll be all good. Hey, sunshines. So I'm home. I ended up grabbing a US 7, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle, to a DPN to do the bind off with. Which is 2 sizes up from the 3.75 that I was using, because I don't know where my size 6 DPNs are. So it's fine. I think that the edge looks really nice. I don't know if you can tell how much tighter these stitches look, like these first few look, versus the rest of the row. Obviously, nobody's going to notice that except for us because I pointed it out, but I'm much happier with the way that these stitches look on the blanket. So I'm glad that that happened, even though I worked through the first half of my lunch, and I think that edging looks beautiful. So I'm gonna see how far I can get today on binding off so that I can get far on or tomorrow, because I really want this to be done before Friday, but we'll see. Wish me luck. I did this much from here to here while editing about 7 minutes of footage, so that's like 7 minutes of work because I didn't actually have to do anything except watch the footage. That doesn't seem like a lot of work for 7 minutes. Hey, sunshines. So it's after 7. I feel like I'm probably not getting my vehicle tonight, which is frustrating, but fine, because I can't do anything about it, so why get upset? So anyway, I am almost done binding off the third side on this blanket. I have this much yarn left. I think I'm good. So we'll see. I think I'm good. I'm telling myself I'm good. I'm telling myself that's enough yarn to bind off. So yeah, the blanket's doing good. I've also been, while I've been working on the blanket, because I just can't just work on that right now. I've been working on the cowl, and I just finished the first ball of mohair. So I'm going to add in this second ball, which is much more of a remnant because the first ball of mohair was used to make a hat, a mitten, and then this part of the cowl. And I'm thinking, remember, I don't know the yardage on these mohair balls. I'm thinking, because this Wool-Ease Thick and Quick is 106 yards, I'm thinking that these are probably like 150 yards, because the first ball of yarn took me, the first ball of Thick and Quick, I think took me here after being used in the hat and a mitten. So I'm estimating that there's no way that's not 50 more yards, maybe 125 yards. I'm just trying to estimate because I'm going to pair up the other balls of yarn with a fingering weight, white or cream, I think, to make some sort of wrap. So I don't know. It's probably that's not 50 yards of the Thick and Quick. 20 is probably closer. So let's say 125 yards in the mohair for pairing up with white for a white fingering weight. That's what I'm going to go with. So yeah, I'm going to attach that and work on this a little bit more tonight. And I am going to continue to bind off this blanket. It would be nice if I finished it before bedtime, but I'm not holding myself to that. Because if I finish it before bedtime, I could put it in the wash overnight. And that would be exciting. So I've been thinking, like, I really miss my local yarn shop for a variety of reasons. But I really miss right now the fact that I don't have access to a steamer, because I think that this steam blocked out would just be so beautiful. I've steam blocked an acrylic version of this once before, and it just looks so nice when it's all stretched out and flat, but I don't have access to a steamer, so it's fine. It'll be fine. However it turns out, will be fine. It's still pretty, like, all texture-y. It's just, I think, prettier when it's less texture and the lace is more open. Good morning, sunshines. It's Wednesday the 5th. I finished the baby blanket last night. Very exciting. And so now I'm on to like the next big thing that has a deadline, which is a blanket for middle school for auction. And I could try to finish up the corner to corner I'm working on, except it's in my car and I still don't have my car back. Or I have these 6-inch squares. So way back at the beginning of my podcast journey, when I first got into knitting, first joined Ravelry, I was part of a group that swapped 6-inch squares. And it was really, really fun because it was just, you would sign up every month if you wanted to. And it was just a fun thing. It was fun to get fun mail. It was fun to find a partner and send them something fun. So when I was doing that, I made 4 squares every month. I would make 2 squares per my partner's request for them, and then I would also make 2 squares for me. So I definitely know I made this square and this square. This right here is the carousel square. It's on Ravelry. Oh no, this one's not. It looks kind of like the carousel square. That's what I'm thinking. This is the carousel square. And that was like my favorite go-to motif. I just love it so much, but I made these 3 for sure. And then I would get squares in return. So sometimes it would be based on a color I picked, like someone made me this green. And sometimes it would be like, I'm pretty sure I got this for a Valentine's Day swap. So you would get whatever you would get. Someone made me these, and I think they made me an extra square because I don't know what this yarn is, but there's 3 squares, I think, that are in this red, white, and green and have this different feel from what my squares are. So anyway, I have all of these squares. I have 68 squares. And, you know, the idea was always that I was going to make a blanket out of them, but I don't actually want this blanket to live with me. So what I'm going to do is do 8 squares by 8 squares. And then there are some squares that are a little bit smaller, so I'm not going to use them. So that should give me a blanket that's 4 by 4. And then I would really like the blanket, I think, if it was like 4 by 5. So I don't know if I would try to make, or maybe even 4 by 6. But then I would need to make 8 12-inch squares, 4 for each side. So I might do that, but my plan right now is to start crocheting these together at school today. So that's going to be my lunch project. I will get back to the black leggings eventually. I know I'm feeling like super guilty about not working on it, but this is a thing that I only have about a week to do because I need to wash it before it goes up for auction for the kiddos. So yeah, I'm gonna take a stack of squares, and I have a bag of yarn that one of the people who I work with at the school donated. So I'm going to pick a color. I don't really think it matters what color I join with because the squares are all so different in color. And then I'm going to start putting it together. I think this square probably needs a border before I can add it. I don't know. It seems a little small, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be fine. So yeah, it's just going to be a hodgepodge this time, but I think that'll be fine. The kids just like stuff. And have you seen some of the things that are fashionable these days? I don't know. I could not be fashionable these days with some of what's fashionable. So hopefully they'll like it. And we'll see what this looks like in a week. I'm also feeling like I should be working on Nikki's blanket because her birthday is this month, but I don't know what day her birthday is. However, so I did work on it a little this morning, so I now have 4 squares together. But the green yarn, what do we do? It's just, okay, so that's the front, but it's upside down, sorry. So I have the 2 plain black squares going, but I need to make more skull squares. But the green yarn is in my car, which I don't have right now. It's fine. It's fine. it's fine. So I also feel like I also feel like whenever it is Nikki's birthday, I could be like, I'm working on your blanket, and send her a picture, and like that will be okay, right? Because like birthdays aren't arbitrary, but birthday gifts are kind of like birthday gift giving, I feel, is kind of arbitrary. Some people might not feel that way. I feel like those people aren't neurospicy. And also, I'm making her a blanket. It's going to take time, but I am working on it. Just the auction blanket has a hard deadline, so I have to work on that. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to probably work on the cowl, I think, or maybe my sister's kids' socks. I don't know. I also have laundry that I should be folding. I don't have that long before school. I can't do all the things. But I could probably do a little bit of everything. That's probably what I'm going to do. A little bit of all three of those. Okay, sunshines. So I've changed my mind a little bit about what the blanket's going to look like, how I'm going to set it up. So I'm going to do a 4x5 blanket instead of a 4x6. I forgot that I had made this square. It's about a 10-inch square using leftover yarn from the blue mittens that I made from a student, and I had started a second square. So I'm going to make these two squares into 12-inch squares, and I am going to do one row of the 6-inch squares on either side, like border edges, and then I'm going to have 12-inch squares going on a diagonal through the middle of the blanket. You'll see what that means when it comes together, but that means I have to finish this off. I have to make it another maybe round or two to make it the right size, and finish this square, and then do 2 more squares. But I'm going to start putting together the blanket squares right now. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Did I spend too much of my lunch working already? Yes. And did I almost go away from my office to go talk to a teacher who's on their lunch? Yes. But I'm just going to talk to them in passing in the hallway today instead. I've decided, so I could have my lunch and work on this project. And I told you I had yarn donated from a coworker, so there's going to be noise. So this garbage bag is given to me. So let's find a color to, let's do this blue. This blue can attach, or at least start attaching the blanket together. So I'm thinking that my next middle school blanket is just going to be 12-inch squares out of these yarns put together. So it'll be what I work on in my office. That's my plan. All right, friends, the focus isn't here, but I have got 5 squares together. I did end up bordering this square. It was just a teeny bit too small. It was probably like 5.5 inches instead of 6. And then for this square, this yarn is like super, super stretchy. The square was a little bit too small, but now that it's attached, it's like the perfect size. So I didn't border that one. I did border this one. If squares need it, I will border it in this light blue, except for these squares, which are nearly identical to the blue that I'm using for the squares that I'm making. So I think these were for a different project altogether that I ended up not doing. So I'm just going to attach that blue, work it out until it's 6 inches instead of 4x6, and attach those eventually. Well, not eventually, within the next week, right? Because I only have so much time before the next middle school auction. So 5 squares out of, how many did I say? 64 plus 4, so 68 squares. It's not great. Okay. But now I have my timeline. I know what I can do in about 20 minutes. So it's okay. We got this. That only took 20 minutes to do that. Hey, sunshines. Okay, so I was trying to explain what I was going to do with the blanket, but here I am. Here we are. So I have the first row at the top is the 8 squares, and the bottom row is also going to be 8 squares. But then I'm going to have these big squares. So I'm going to have one here, then there's going to be one here, and then it'll go in a diagonal like that, which you'll see more of. But it's Friday afternoon, and I have essentially 3 rows connected, and I have the other blue square finished, and I'm working on the next square is going to be yellow. I'll talk about it in a second though. So lies, I'll just talk about it now. It is going to be a granny square, but with puff stitches in the corner, just to make it a little bit different. Then both of the blue squares are granny stitch. I don't know if I'm going to do 2 yellow squares. I don't know if I'm going to do them both this style or if the other yellow square will be some other style. I just wanted to add some interest to it. But a lot of the squares are not quite 6 inches. I think I mentioned that. And I did start bordering them. Let's move this around. I did start bordering them in the light blue, but then I started to get nervous about running out of the light blue for attaching. And here we go. So you can see I bordered this one in light blue. Yeah, I got nervous. So I decided, instead of bordering any more with light blue, yeah, see this one's bordered in light blue, that I have this other blue, this kind of medium blue, that I can use for bordering, and also the yellow gold color to border with. So I'm going to use those 2 to border squares, just because I don't mind if I use this to attach and then use an entirely different color to border. But if I get most of the way through attaching and then don't have this color for attaching, I feel like that is going to look weird and poorly planned. So hopefully this skein is enough to attach all the things. But working on this blanket reminds me how much fun I had doing swaps. I really miss doing swaps. I'm really, really hoping that I have enough spoons at the end of the year to do the ornament swap. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Let me know in the comments if that's even something people are still interested in, because I really like the handmade ornament swap. But yeah, I miss doing swaps, and I don't really want this blanket, right? Like, I don't have any need to have this blanket, but it was fun making these squares, because I made this one and this one and this one and this one. Nope, not that one. This one. This one. Ooh, this one was a swap square, and it was actually too big. I had to pull out some yarn for that. So yeah, I don't know. It was just fun. So I am enjoying this project. I'm glad that this is what I decided to do with these squares. I think the middle schoolers will like it. Hey, sunshines. I don't think I showed you the baby blanket when it was finished. I'm pretty sure not, because I washed it and then I don't think you've seen it since. So here it is. It's all finished. I think it's about 3 foot by 3 foot. I don't know. I don't have a measuring tape handy. So there's the baby blanket. Pattern is Undercover by Beta Jessic on Hedgehog Fibers with a RE.com, I think. I don't know. It's in the show notes. So there's that. And this is how far I am on the blanket for middle school. I can't even get it all in frame. So my goal for today was to have 6 rows attached, which I technically do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm doing good. I'm going to continue to attach, but they count as attached when they're attached. I'm calling this horizontally, and this will be vertically. because width times height. Sorry. It's on my bed. It's hard to get all in the frame. Let's see. Is that everything I have? Yes, that's everything I have. So that's what it's looking like. And I do have a few places attached vertically when they are going to end at a large square. So I did decide to do a different large square for the yellow. The other large yellow square is a corner to corner. I think this is looking so fun and so cool. And man, I really, really miss making all of the different squares. It was such a fun thing to like try to find patterns that I thought would be interesting and that people would like, and then receiving squares that I wouldn't have necessarily made, but that were really, really cool. So yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this. And I really, really hope that one of my students gets it and really, really likes it. I think it's fun. So I'm doing good. The goal is still finished by Wednesday evening so I can wash it and let it air dry and have it ready for auction by Friday. So that's still the goal. It seems attainable because I have 6 out of 10 rows together. Well, 6.5. So, because once they're together horizontally, like putting them together vertically has been pretty easy. I know it's just been shorter sections, but it's easier because they're already together. So you don't have to like hold the, if you've put together a blanket, you know. I'm using single crochet to put it together. I like a single crochet better than a slip stitch join. I just think it looks more intentional. So this is the blanket, isn't it? Isn't it cool? I think it's so cool. Man, I really, really do miss doing these square swaps. Square swaps. Yeah. I also, side tangent, used to be a part of a group on Ravelry of people who would put together blankets for parents who lost children. Horrible thing to happen. Terrible thing. And I volunteered to put blankets together, and that has its own kind of joy. Like, would I want to intentionally sit down and make a bunch of squares for a blanket and then put them together like all in one go? Obviously, I'm doing that for my scrappy blankets, some of them. That's different. Would I want to do that? No. Am I loving doing it for Nikki's blanket? Not really, but there's a joy in assembling things that, I don't know. I know not everybody feels that way, but I do. I like to see the things come together, but I don't necessarily want to make all the things. Does that make sense at all? I don't know if that does or not. But yeah, like it's just cool because this just has like memories built into it. Like this square right here was all the leftovers from making other squares to send out. Like just the little nuggets of leftovers I used to make this one. And like I know that, well, I don't know, no. Let's see. I know that this square goes together with 2 other squares that are not yet in the blanket. This square was sent with this square. This square I sent out with this square because it was someone's favorite colors. This square is fun. I never made any squares with buttons or anything, but that's fun. I like that. And there's just so many cool techniques, like spiraling granny squares, so the yarns spiral out. This one, same sort of deal, like it's an illusion square. Another illusion square, just using different stitches. I know I already talked about it, but my favorite, carousel, I must have made a couple dozen of those squares over time. I don't know, it's just fun. Ooh, this one, here's a spiral square. You can really see the pink spiral out on that one. It's harder to see because this right here is part of a variegated that has an aqua, and then I used the same aqua. So yeah, and then this just beautiful snowflake square. I made that multiple times because I just loved it. It's so fun. It's so fun to see it. I don't want it. I don't want to keep it. But I like it. And I hope that one of the kiddos really likes it too. I think it's so cool and it's going to be so fun. Oh, also while we're here, I have been just here and there working away on this Croy sock for my kiddo. I talked about it in the February vlog. I was here-ish at the end of February. So we're a week into March and I've finished the leg. I finished the leg at school, or got really, really close to finished at school. And I am trying to get through the gusset. Like I finished it on Friday. I'm trying to get through the gusset this weekend so that it can go back to school as just pocket knitting and just around and around until I'm done with the foot. I have almost used up this leftover bit of yarn that was left over from making a pair of socks for my boyfriend because he needed more than 2 balls of Croy, but didn't use up a ton of that 3rd ball of Croy. Yeah. And I did a contrast teal just for funsies. I could have absolutely done it in this blue-gray color, but I kind of I didn't want a big color jump right here, which would have happened because this is I think it's the FX where it like gradually changes over time. I could be making that up. I don't remember. But I did order that ball of Croy so that I could take out one single stripe to make a match to a sock that I wanted for myself. Ridiculous. But whatever, I'll just use up the rest of that ball to make part of a sock for my kiddo. So I used that yarn to do the heel. And then I have a little bit of the other skein of this greenish color. It's more brown. This definitely was an FX that went green to like a reddish brown. So that's going to be the color that I use after that. And then I had that little red ball of yarn from this color skein that I had accidentally pulled out 2 reds. So I'll put that in next, and then I'm going to use the rest of the skein to finish out the sock. And then all of my scraps of Croy will be used up, so I'm going to have to make the second sock for the pair that I bought this skein for, and then I have yarn for a pair for me, and then I have yarn for a pair for someone who I don't know who it's going to yet. It's like a pink and a brown pair, and it's not really my thing. And my littlest already has yarn or socks in that color, so I don't know, maybe my sister, maybe my aunt. My boyfriend's mom got it for me for the winter holiday. I don't know if she would wear hand knit socks. Like, we're not that close, because that's what I would do, is just be like, oh, I'll make them for her. But I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to my boyfriend about it. Let's see what he thinks about the idea. We'll have to see. But anyway, I am going to work on this blanket just a little teeny bit more today and then put it away because I've been working on it very diligently. And yeah, and work on this some more. Get it through that gusset. Hey, sunshines. Da-da-da-da. So, getting really close. I have just this line, which will be a horizontal line of the blanket, to go. And then of the vertical lines, I have this, that, and that little one right there done. So yeah, I am getting close. I'm really thinking I can have this done by Wednesday after school, because I just need to finish attaching, and then I'm going to border. I think I'm going to do a single crochet in this blue color, and then a single crochet in this gold color, and then maybe like one more single crochet in, I think there's a skein of cream in that bag of yarn that I got from my coworker. But I am feeling pretty good about the progress I made on this weekend. I think it's looking really good. Also, I went to a baby shower today, and I took the socks for my sister's oldest kiddo. I have 2 rounds left of the cuff, so I finished those, and now I'm just on stockinette for the leg. So, you know, that's not terrible progress. I'll take it. And I don't need these until winter holiday, so I have plenty of time to work on them, but I worked on them. We played baby bingo, and that was the only baby shower game. Brilliant. I do not love baby shower games, but that one was okay. And then, ta-da-da-da, I finished the bluish, grayish mini in this Patton's Croy scrappy sock. I just put in another little mini, and I'm going to attach the gray and red brown stripe to finish out the sock. So that's going good too. Hey friends, it's Tuesday before school. I only have this and that down there yet to connect. Well, look, all the way up there. That's all I have left to connect, but I only have this much light blue. So I think I'm gonna do as much of this big seam as I can with that light blue, and then I'll be using this dark blue for the rest of the little seams. It's fine. And then using this blue to do the first round of the border. But I'm making good progress. I'm on track for meeting my goal of having this finished tomorrow after school. I'm really close. I feel like it looks really, really good. Hey, sunshines. So it's the end of lunch. It's all together, yay! And I have the border on the equivalent of one side because I started it on that side of that blue square, so it's one side. I have one side with the first round of the border, so still on track. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. I'm so low energy today. I was walking through middle school, and one of the middle school teachers opened the door, and she saw me, and she was like, "Oh, we were just talking about vampires." Thanks. I'm glad that my situational anemia is making me look even more undead than usual. Da-da-da-da! Look what I did! I finished the blanket. It's Tuesday. I finished it a whole day early. Just to find out that the auction is not this week, it's next week. Wah, wah. But it's fine. Look at how pretty it turned out. I'm about to go throw it in the washing machine so it can be all clean, and I'll just take it to school and it can wait for a week. So I did end up doing the 3 rounds of border. I am so pleased that I have it finished. And I am going to do one last check-in on the projects that I have immediately around me. And then I'm going to call this the end of the part 1 March vlog. What am I doing? I'm very talkative right now, which I'm not mad about. But yeah, somehow we're around an hour mark. I'm glad I checked, so I wasn't jump scared by that. But let's check in with the other things that we have. Let me say real quick that I have not worked on Nikki's blanket because I worked on the baby blanket and then the school blanket. But Nikki's blanket is going to be my next work project. So you'll be seeing that starting in first thing in the March part 2 vlog. But okay, so here's my aunt's cowl that, I don't know, maybe it's like half the height I want it to be. maybe I kind of want it to be done this month so that it's just done. So we'll see how that goes. The socks for my sister's oldest kiddo, I've put in a little bit of work since the weekend, but again, not pushing super hard to get these done in any sort of time, but I do want to keep up momentum on them this month. I do still intend to work on the is it the Heart Explosion socks? No, the Romantasy socks. The Heart Explosion was the Colorwork socks by Alendri, and it's the Romantasy socks are the ones with the textured heart panels. I do want to finish that second sock this month, so we'll see how that goes after I finish Nikki's blanket. And then also, I feel like I put on a lot of work on this sock since the last time you saw it, but maybe not. This is the sock. It's just a scrappy croy sock for my oldest kiddo. And I know I put on a decent amount of work today while I was at school. I mean, it's like a ½ inch, but that's kind of a lot for just picking up and doing a few rounds or a few stitches here and there. So yeah, that's coming along. I think this one looks really, really cool. I look forward to showing you the finished version of this. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Thank you for hanging out with me for the first 11 days of March. By the way, happy 3/11. I enjoy the band 311. So if you do also, fantastic. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that's also cool. But I did start my day off by sending a 311 song to my boyfriend and my best friend and wishing them happy 311. I will see you so soon. I hope your March is starting out well. I hope that you're doing okay. And if you're not doing okay, I hope you are soon, because I get that too.